I think the children, and I know that they were hot, and I went to all the buildings, and I was hot too. I will say that only the middle school, we had a little bit of an issue at Woodland. I walked the whole building, thermometer, it was 72, the air was coming out at 72, which is good, but some of the rooms were 76, because it's not just the air coming out, everybody knows that. So it was a little warm, I went back again, it's working very well. So the only true school that we have to worry about when we had a heat wave, everybody needs to know that it was a heat wave, it was 98 degrees, it wasn't normal temperatures, is the middle school. So I've had conversations with Dr. Higgins in the middle school, I had conversations with the transportation director.
But
I'm gonna talk about that.
About the rooms.
No, I'm gonna do that too. So a couple of things is we're gonna have a plan B, and it's gonna be sent home in advance. If we ever have another heat wave, we are able to make the middle school students go home half day and not affect any of the districts. So they still get their time in, it doesn't affect them academically, and it also they're also not our babies, although I know we have 6th graders, it's still not the same thing of calling the half day, so that we're gonna do in advance.
Busing, not a
But
problem.
not a problem, everything's good, we already checked it out. The other thing is, and I think this is important to note, that Dr. Higgins does, and his VPs, they do an entire schedule, Google sheet of classrooms that are available every period that have air conditioning. They all have air conditioning that is working at the proper level during a heat wave. Once again, I'm gonna repeat myself, it was a heat wave, it wasn't a normal day. And they have the ability to move. So I know a lot of children, but a lot of the teachers also, they're so into the teaching, it gets overwhelming to move the materials and so forth, but I think it's important to note that we are constantly saying, who needs fans, how can we help you, and do you wanna move? So that was plan B. Plan C, of course, would be if we had to go to half days for that day or two. The schedule's gonna be sent out in advance. Dr. Higgins, I discussed it with him, it's gonna be proactive. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so glad the beautiful weather's upon us, but if we had an active God or an active being, it was a heat wave. It was 98 degrees.
Yes.
But there was measures in place for
Absolutely.
teachers to move. I
And
think
they-
that's important to be said.
And they
because
chose not to.
of the stuff that was, posted on social media, the teachers were complaining and, oh, our poor teachers, they're so hot and they're sweltering and there's
Let's go
no,
back to social media, don't we, huh?
well,
No, you're absolutely right, I said it too, I agree with you.
but it's important to know
Yes.
that the administration at the middle school had places that the teachers, if
Yeah.
they felt was too hot, could move to a cooler location. If they chose not to, that was a decision that was made by the teacher and the administration,
Correct.
but they were able to move to a cooler.
Right, and Woodland was the only other